Hi, how's it going? Today I'm gonna talk about the most common mistakes people find when they are studying themes to play the Brazilian accent. Um, I used to say that a lot of troubles that people has in the study of music is not because any capability, but it's because of the way that this person is studying. Sometimes a thing gets more difficult because the way you deal with the problems in a piece make it more harder than it is. Then today I'm gonna do this live, showing some counterintuitive behaviors you have to experiment, that you can experiment in your studying to make this process easier and lighter. I realize in a lot of students that some behaviors are so strong they forget to change. But I'm gonna propose you a technique of studying 15 minutes. And when I say 15 minutes, it's really 15 minutes. Try to study 15 minutes a day, a thing you want to learn. When you have a limit time, you're gonna realize that if you studied 15 minutes and didn't see any progress, is because the way that you are learning it, the way you are studying, something is wrong, something has to be changed. And if you study so many hours to resolve some problem and doesn't see the solution, you can't evaluate your way of studying. So I would like to tell you the first thing is, and the most important thing people do in their process, that they lose a lot of time. And the first thing is to play to read a song, commit little mistakes during the play, and don't do nothing about it. This is very intuitive to us, to play the whole piece and to return. And when you return, you're gonna realize that you committed the same mistakes, or sometimes more, or sometimes less. But I consider to play the whole piece like a resting exercise. You are tired of studying, you can play the whole piece just to rest. But one important thing you have to do first is don't ignore the difficult measures. You play the first and second measure and there is some problem, play them again. If you are playing some instrument of keys, or of strings, try to repeat the same fingering, because the brain is gonna have the opportunity to repeat the same movement. So you try to resolve just one measure, or do it. If you play right 3 times, you can go ahead, find another mistake or another difficult place and stop on it. Try to repeat or to execute. And if you get so so tired of trying that measure, I'm gonna tell you another mistake people commit when studying a piece. They used to, sometimes they are motivated, so they try harder and harder to repeat that part, that difficult part. And it's interesting because if that piece is very difficult to that piece of the song has a very difficult problem, people we're gonna get tired and stop studying. So my recommendation is very different of a lot of people do there. Try sometimes to resolve that problem. Try to play, try just four times. When if you don't have result, change the part of the thing you are studying. You can return a little to the beginning to review, but jump that part, because an interesting and important thing is gonna happen in your brain. You started a process and you didn't finish it. Your brain is gonna work in that piece without. I think I tell in a passive way. You are thinking in another thing, but your brain is gonna search for other solutions in other parts of it. This is like a lot of you I think had this experience. You are doing a test a test in school, and there is some question there that you don't know you don't remember the answer, and you try harder to remember. You force yourself to remember, and nothing happened. And the test ends, and when you are going home, returning home, you remember the answer of that question. This is very common because when you give a mission to the brain, it will start to work on it, and sometimes you can't have the answer at that time. So, to don't lose energy and time, start to work in another part of the song. This will you're gonna save energy and be more prepared to answer that question or to resolve that problem when you return to it. And sometimes this problem will be resolved in the 15 minutes of the second day. And people don't believe that, because they think in their inner that they didn't do enough for that problem. And it's not true. It's not the truth. You gave the mission to the brain and you stopped it. Then your brain will be light to resolve another problems. So you can continue the piece, or you can go to the second part of the song, the B section, for example. Try to start the study of it. Alright, if you find another problem, stop on it, try sometimes. If if you get tired, change the part of the music, or try to do a little review, and you can make a lot of tasks during your 15-minute study. In the next day, when you arrive, you're gonna recognize what problems you had in the last day, and you didn't feel so much tired, because people sometimes are very persistent. They try harder, and on the other day they don't have the will to continue studying. So as a teacher, I always tell my students to save this energy. You have to stop studying with the will to continue, because that will is gonna continue. In the next day, is gonna call you again to study. So this little process of few time, it is very interesting in a lot of ways. It's about you are using few time, you don't feel so tired, you don't get annoyed with your mistakes, and you use a technique that I think it's the most precious technique for studying, that is the spacing. The spacing is to give the chance of your brain to think in a problem in separate moments. And the brain does a lot when we space the problems. So I took some of you can think that this just happens with me, but I try these techniques with advanced students and beginner and early beginners students. This works a lot. And so if you are having difficulties to learn some Brazilian theme, or if you are having some difficulties to improvise in some part of the theme, I recommend you to try to search for this. I'm gonna try to show you. I took a Brazilian frevo that's very difficult for me to study it. It's counterintuitive, melody is not simple. So I would like to show you a little of the process. I won't show you the lead sheet because it's not, I couldn't put in the screen, but I'm gonna try to describe what I'm gonna do in 15 minutes. This is the frevo of the composer Edu Lobo, called Pé de Vento. That's the name. Pé de Vento, it's inverted. And I'm gonna show you my process in 15 minutes of what to do, what I would do to study it. Alright? So, let's see the first phrase. Another important thing, that you don't need to read music very well to do this, because to become fluent in the execution, you don't need to be reading. Some people associate the performance of a musician with a very good reading, and it's not the truth, because here in Brazil we had genius players and they didn't read music. Some of them didn't read the chords. It's very interesting. And I consider and they didn't read music not because they were genius, because they find a way to study that they see the results. So if you are having difficulties with reading, just read just one measure. If take 15 minutes to read, for example, if you take 3 minutes to read just one measure, read them 4 times. Try to repeat, because you're gonna see the progression, the improvement of your capabilities. So it's just make the right study uh, that you're gonna have results without having a very good sight reading, alright? So I'm gonna try to show, if I remember more things, I'm gonna show you. This first page of this theme has 3 systems. Let's see, it's an F clef. So I read this 3 phrases with a certain difficulty. You can read sometimes with more, but I'm gonna repeat them. Let me repeat. Note that it started to be easier to me. Sometimes it's gonna get some more repetitions to you, but it's few information because I remember what fingering I'm using, and our brain wants to see, to get familiar with the information, and some people don't wait to get familiar, just read a lot of things, and when they return to the beginning of the piece, they don't remember anything. And the important thing here is to remind the things you did before. Let's see the next phrase. This part is a little don't have tonality, so it's not intuitive. That's why I chose this theme. So this phrase. One more time. So this second phrase is improving. I'm gonna repeat from the beginning. Very nice. It's getting better. 2 more times. Time. So nice. I'm looking to the second measure, the second system, and I'm seeing a equal melody. It's the same thing. So this is just a repetition. Let me read note by note to see if I'm wrong. So the third measure is everything equal. The next measure we're gonna have some different stuff. So I just studied 7 measures till now, and let's see what comes next. I'm gonna read just the right hand. That is it's in F clef. And here. I have to choose fingering. let's fake that this measure is a difficult, very difficult measure for me. What can I do? I did my 3 repetitions here, and I can review a little of the beginning of the piece to rest myself if this measure got me tired, alright? Or I can continue a little. Let's continue a little of the thing. This is the left hand. Let's see a fingering to this part. When I take so many time to choose a fingering, I go to another place, because when I return my mind will be more prepared to give me a better answer also. So don't fight a lot with the song. Just show your brain that problem exists, change the subject, and after that you're gonna see the problem in another way. I'm gonna do a review of the beginning of the and that measure. Nice. Second review. But I committed a mistake. One more time. So let's see that piece that I had doubts about, the fingering. Not good. I found a very interesting solution. Passing the third finger, and my hand will be prepared to repeat that movement with a lot of easiness. Before I had developed this technique, I spent so many time trying to create complicated and counterintuitive fingerings, and some music need that complicated finger, but it's not that it's I think the most cases you can resolve it with simple fingerings. So when you go out of the problem and return to it, your mind will never be the same. It knows the problem, and it's working on being prepared to save this problem. Let's see something that is in the right hand in this measure. We have a cluster here. I recognize here the beat of frevo. example, this independence of hands, it's not simple to doing the first time. One more time. That I'm doing with difficulties. I don't know if I'm right. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna change, I'm gonna review or see different parts of the song, but I'm gonna review. Again. Note that measure that was a little more complicated to me. Still is getting complicated, but it's improving. It's making a little improve. I don't have to worry with it, because tomorrow, when I see this measure, it will be much more familiar. It's common in the first try and second try you commit a mistake, but in the third try, your brain is gonna give you all the information that you need to resolve it. All right. So let's return to that measure. I had difficulty in joining the hands. Now, in the first try, it's already working. Just one. Okay. It's getting better. I'm not comfortable with it, but it's working. I have to press the note and in the last time and I forgot to keep pressing the note. I'm not pressing yet. It's getting better. Forgot. It's getting better. I won't fight with this problem until it's get ready. I'm gonna return to another problem. It was that. Again. Alright, let's see from the beginning. That measure became much more easy to play. Note, it's getting much more easy. I commit some mistakes because I'm changing the tempo. And after that, let's see the... Note that in the first try, my hand did what I want it to do. I remind some other problems that mistakes people usually commit when they are studying. It's sometimes they do write some measure and they started to make in a fast way, and when you make fast, you're gonna lose your ability. I often say to my students that they aren't. Sometimes we aren't prepared to do that movement in that tempo that day. For example, for me today, it won't be possible to do this in the original tempo. It's 130. I have to recognize when I'm getting faster when repeating, because some mistakes we commit because we are getting faster while we are playing. So when you played right a lot of times and you returning another day, or you returning that part and you are playing and everything is wrong again, it's because you changed the tempo. This is something we don't realize, and we think, today I'm tired, or today my mind is not good, and this is not the truth. I've given classes to persons, for example, that I hadn't sleep this night. I had some problems, and I couldn't sleep. And even people that didn't sleep, if they practice this way, they are gonna choose to see the result. All right. And if they return the tempo to a slow tempo, they are gonna see result. They are gonna see that they improve, not they lose ability from one day to another. So be careful. If you are committing more mistakes you were committing, see the tempo of your practice. All right. So let's see what I'm capable of doing in this part. In my last try. This was my first and last try of today, but I took one difficult part to me and I tried to execute and prepare in that manner I told you, and I hope this tip is helpful to you that are preparing to play the Brazilian themes. And if you have some more problems in your process of studying music, just write on the comments. I'll be very happy to help you. And these lives are for helping you in this process of learning the Brazilian accent, improvisation, and everything about and everything related to it. Alright? I hope you have enjoyed. See you tomorrow and every day for more lives about this. And I'm here in Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Thanks for watching and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.